Hey y'all, love from Southeast Texas. It's Khaki, back again, and welcoming you to my new home. It's been a long time since the last time I made a video, and it's because I said something about lifing, and it was like, hey, hold my beer, let me show you what I can really do. Um, the good news is, though, I decided to quit smoking back before Thanksgiving, and I'm still doing okay on that. Okay, I'm doing well. Let's see what else has gone on. Oh, we moved. That happened the first part of January, and this place is hands down better than the other place where we were living. So we're very happy about that. It took me roughly 6 weeks to finally get everything unpacked and put where I wanted it to be and everything else. So that was another part of the reason for the delay. Um, Ever since then, it's just been, it seems like first one thing and then another coming up. But there's, I'm going to make two videos, maybe not today, but pretty much back to back. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about something that's really, really been weighing on me. And that is, I used to be a really, really nice person. In fact, I went to my 40-year high school reunion back in February, and every single person that I met, which surprisingly to me, a lot of people didn't recognize me. And I thought that was a little weird because I really haven't changed that much over the years, especially those people that I went all the way through school with. But whenever they found out, who I was, they were like, "Oh, I remember you. You were always so nice." I finally told about the fifth person that said that to me. I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what happened to me, but I'm not nice anymore," which of course made them laugh. They thought I was joking, but no, not really. I'm really not that super nice person that I used to be because people happened. And it's really not getting any better out there. And so I was seriously, in fact, I think it's kind of a good thing that I haven't made any videos in a while because I've had so much growth since the last videos that I made that it feels like it's going to be easier now. And that's because I finally heard someone say, rather than telling me, "Oh, you've got to raise your vibration and peace, love, and kindness and all of that." Well, I thoroughly believe in all of those things. I do. And honestly, deep down in my heart, I am still a nice person. I'm just a very cautious person now. Um, People don't gain my trust nearly as quickly as they used to. And yeah, I guess I'm a little guarded because, well, okay. I worked in the public for my entire life from the time I was 16 years old until roughly about 5 years ago. I worked in the public. And back when I was young, 16 to I would say 36 at least, I thoroughly enjoyed my work. I enjoyed working for the public. I enjoyed helping people, especially older people. Um, it was a part of me, and my job for me was perfect. I Not a lot of people are going to aspire to be a cashier in a grocery store, but that's what I did, and I really loved it. I think you have to have a special kind of a personality to do that kind of work. And but people started to change, and this was several years before that magical year, right? where everybody seemed to turn into an asshole. No, this was years prior to that that people started really bothering me with the way they behaved. I, I, I was I was absolutely just in awe, and I literally had to quit my job because of it. I just so happened to be in the store that I worked in the other day, and I was talking to my former manager, and honestly, I think she was just on the verge of asking me to come back to work. So because I was doing something else at the time. And so we're standing there having a conversation, and this old man comes up behind us on one of the motorized scooter carts, and she's facing towards him. She's standing with a basket, with a cart in her hand, and I was standing next to her cart. We're not taking up that much space. We're in the front end, so like there's gobs. But I had noticed that there are people walking by, so she's focusing on him. I turn around to look at what she's focusing on, and I see him, and he's like, she's got, excuse us. And he's like, oh, no, no problem. Y'all's conversation is far more important than your customers. And so by that time, he's able to go on around and go on about his business. And I watch him as he's going off. And I turned around and I looked at her and I was like, was he trying to be funny? Or is he trying to be an ass? And she's still wearing that smile. And I think he was trying to be an ass. And I turned around and looked at him and I looked back at her and I was like, you see, that is the reason why I had to quit this job, because I just want to turn around and look at him and say, what the hell is your problem? Like, why? Why do you feel it necessary to bring so much nastiness into the world? I mean, I know misery loves company, but holy crap. And I told her, this is the reason why I had to quit. I cannot deal with those people anymore. And she just patted me on the arm and she walked away, still wearing that smile. And I thought about it and I was like, that's not right on any level. It's not right that people feel like they can come into a place of business and treat you that way in the first place. I look at it as being abusive. They're just literally being abusive to you because they know that they can. And why can they? Because corporate says that's what you have to do. You smile, you do the best you can to help them with their little problem, whatever it may be, and got to get that customer to come back in. Well, I'll tell you what, I just assume they went someplace else. I don't want to have to deal with people like that. And I've been wanting to go back to work because I'm far too young to retire and I'm no longer taking care of my disabled son. I would like to go back to work, but I don't want to go back to work in the public. I got to find something I can do, I don't know, like you're at the house or something, because people are something else. And I was waking up, and I think probably because I resent that just a little bit, because I really do want to get out and go back to work. I just don't want to have to put up with people abusing me all day long, 8 hours a day, all day, every day. No, no. And not, have to wear that smile. No, thank you. Mm-mm. I don't want to do that anymore. And so I've been struggling with that, and it's really been kind of making me angry, I think. And I finally heard somebody say, you can't just run around being, love and kindness and peace and joy all the time. You have to embrace your dark side. You have to learn to love your dark side, accept it, sit with it, and basically move on. And that really helped me. So I thought quite possibly it might help some of you too. Especially if you keep, like I was, kicking myself all the time about what happened to me. I used to be so nice. I'm not nice anymore. I have terrible thoughts about people, like they're miserable, they're a bunch of Karens, all the stuff, right? All this stuff. Because again, I sorted out that I'm the only person that is dealing with those kinds of feelings. So I decided to sit with it and integrate it. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but basically forgive myself for being human, you know, because I don't think anybody um, can thoroughly enjoy having someone treat them that way. And, yeah, you're getting paid to wear the smile, but I'm sorry, I put a lot of it on corporate too. Uh, that you're not able to find some other way to deal with those types of situations other than um, putting up with it, allowing it. I think the more that John Q. Public out there gets by with stuff like that, just the more they do it, and it's not right. But and I'm sure just like everybody else, there's a myriad of other reasons why I have become somewhat bitter, I guess, in my old age. I joke with my son all the time, telling him that I'm Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino, so I can get off of my lawn. And it made me kind of sad that I have gotten to that point because, we look at that in cinema and we laugh and get a kick out of it and stuff. But that's not the person that I ever truly wanted to be. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that girl, whatever. Like, I don't want to be the person that is basically wakes up in the morning and is grumpy all day long simply because of all the garbage that I see happening. And so, again, I just learned to, whenever that thought comes, say, okay, where did that thought come from? Where is the injury in me that makes me feel that way? And what do I need to do to fix it? Because it's kind of like people say, if you don't take care of your wounds, you'll go into new relationships and bleed on people who weren't the ones that harmed you in the first place. And I don't want to be that person. I would like to go back to being the nice person that I used to be. A little more streetwise, maybe, not somebody that people can take advantage of like they did have. um, to be able to be kind and at the same time a little smarter about how I handle myself instead of letting people take advantage of me, walk all over me, you know, that sort of thing. And it's beginning to work. Like, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm actually not waking up every day angry. So I don't exactly know how to express it or to help others with it, but I thought that's basically all I heard. Accept it, sit with it, work it out, integrate it, and go on. Realize that that's not a part of yourself that you need to dislike or hate. It's just normal. You're just human. You're having a human emotion, either over something that someone did to you years ago or something that somebody said to you a couple of weeks ago in the grocery store. There's a reason for it, and you figure out that reason and you say, well, you know what? That's okay. I forgive them, or I forgive myself. And you get up and you go on about your day. But, this biting my tongue thing, I'm going to stop doing it. I'm going to stop doing it. If I have to be the lone person out there that turns around and looks at that old man and says, what is your problem? Or, why are you being so nasty to her? I'm no longer bound by the corporate rules. Just a couple of days after that interaction, I went in there to buy a few things. And I literally had like 4 items. So naturally, I'm looking for the express lane. This was another one of my pet peeves when I worked there because we're not allowed to say anything. And this lady, she was a bit older than me. I won't call her an old lady, but she was a little bit older than me. I'm sure quite capable of reading English and everything else, but probably because there was no one in the front end at the time or whatever, she had unloaded like 30 items on the express lane belt. And I walk up with my 4 things, and unfortunately, there was a man in the disabled cart come up behind me, and he's only got a few things. And I look at the belt and I look at her, and I'm sure there was fire coming out of my eyes because then I looked at the little cashier. He's all of 18 years old, and he's basically begging me with his face, please don't say anything, please don't say anything. So I smiled and nodded at him, and I held my tongue. But no, I'm gonna stop doing that because again, nobody's paying me anymore to keep my mouth shut. And I really do think if more of us started calling people out on that, excuse me, ma'am, did you realize you were in the express lane when you unloaded this entire cart full of groceries? Because me and this man behind me only have a few things and we would like to get out of here and go home too. You're not special. You need to obey the rules. Uh, Facebook posts, don't even get me started. There was a lady asking about a herbal tincture online the other day. And this one lady just literally tore into her. If you had bothered to do even the slightest bit of research, you would know, blah, blah, blah. And I went on there and I was like, ma'am, you're correct. What you said is right. But do you have to be so rude? Were you raised in a gutter? Because the barn's too good. You must have been raised in the gutter. Because dang, why would you even do that? I mean, okay, so if the lady that was asking the question about the tincture, if what she did upset you or made you mad, scroll on by. Why? Why do you feel that it's necessary that you must put in your nasty little 2 cents? And I don't think enough people call them out on stuff like that. There's one other one that really gets to me when I go online, but I won't go into that one because it's a touchy subject and not one that I care to engage in. But wow, wow. When did it become okay? I guess because what, we're doing it behind a screen or something and nobody can literally reach out and slap you upside the head because that's what I'd really like to do to some of these people. Um, my God, just walk on, scroll on. You don't have to spread your nastiness. You don't have to let this person know that whatever they said made you so angry. Who cares anyway what makes you angry? Just move along. You don't have to engage. And you certainly should check yourself before you say something, especially out of emotion, be it anger, sadness, or whatever, before you speak, because it really makes you look like an ass. And unless that's what you're really going for, is to be the world's biggest ass, just keep your mouth shut and go on. And I don't know. I'm going to stop holding my tongue when it comes to me seeing people doing things like that, and especially when it comes to being mean and hateful to other people for no apparent reason. But anyway, that was that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to make a totally separate video for the other one, but I'll eventually make the tour around the house so you guys can see. I'm not 100% done with decorating and this and that yet, but we'll get there eventually. It's a big house. It's going to take a lot. But anyway, I'm going to let that be it for today. Uh, it's good to get back in there. I'm a little rusty, and but again, I'm really glad that I took the extra time to sort of get my head right again before I made any more videos. And so hopefully things will start to rock along and just go a little smoother this time now. So peace, love, and joy.